Welcome back, everybody, to another pomade review. Now, before we get down to the review itself, I just want to make a very quick clarification over here. So some of you might be wondering why my hair is already styled into a pompadour type shape at the start of some of my videos, like right now. And some of you might be quick to jump to conclusions by saying that my hair has already been styled with product. And if you're the kind of person who would be very quick to judge to make this kind of conclusion, if I read your comment, I would usually reply with a very snarky troll or these nuts kind of comment in response, given my goofy, odd nature. But let me just make a bit of a quick clarification right now that, if you always do a pompadour every single day like I do, your hair tends to be trained to do it. So this is actually the natural state of my hair right now, just fresh out of the shower, slightly damp hair. And there's already a bit of that pompadour wave going on. And if I just run my hands through, you can see that there's that bounce, implying there's absolutely no product in there, because there would be a bit of resistance. You can see if my hair has a bit of product. And I sometimes run my comb through my hair just immediately after the shower so that there's a bit of that shape that's formed. So while my hair is still a bit damp, my hair would dry along with that shape. Even though it naturally forms that shape, it would more or less, I still want to follow a basic pompadour shape and dry along with it while it's still wet as well, which is why I just sometimes I comb it through just right after the shower and before I shoot the video, which is why my hair might look like it has a bit of a pompadour pre-shape already. But that's, I think I made myself clear right now. So we'll proceed with the rest of the video. And today we'll be reviewing another favorite of mine, but a reiterated version of it, a water-based pomade for that matter, which is Summit by Templeton Tonics. Now, there is absolutely no difference in the jar design because it is already super beautiful to begin with. I have the old one over here and this is the new one. And if you look at the difference, literally the only difference is that in the new one, the lid is a little bit taller and slightly shinier as well. But everything is more or less the same with the classic Templeton Tonics logo in the Skyrim font, the compass over the mountain, and just a really cool adventure, Skyrim, Game of Thrones kind of look to it. Obviously it has been reformulated, so the ingredients are different, and this time this one has some PEG 40 hydrogenated castor oil added to it, as well as some PVP among a couple of things that are added. So this makes the formula a lot creamier than it is in the first formula. I believe it was reiterated at least 2 years ago, but I finally managed to find a supplier here in Europe that actually carries the new iterated version in stock. So I gotta really thank Spread Style in Germany for that. And this is the old formula. We can compare it as the slightly waxy cheesecake, fluffy cheesecake type consistency, while the new one is super duper creamy. And for this one, it shows the Mythos scent. So it has a very clean, slightly fruity and sweet scent to it. And it's not too overpowering, it's not too overbearing. And I believe that Mythos stock scent for the Oasis clay, but I chose it for the this particular Summit pomade I have over here because I already have the classic heritage scent on the older iteration that I have. So scooping the product out, I mean, you'd have more or less the same color as the previous iteration. So scooping it out, as expected, super duper light and creamy. You probably wouldn't, it's almost lotion-like. You would probably expect a lighter hold from it, and breaking it down breaks down like nothing. Super duper easy as you would expect. But as I said, you would probably expect a lighter hold from it. But it's one of those pomades that are that definitely perform a lot stronger than they really feel. You know, those deceptively creamy feeling pomades, but the moment you put in your hair, you feel a little bit of that resistance. Nothing too crazy, and not waxy at all, but there's that slight resistance, a bit of control you feel. You feel that instant hold once you apply it into your hair. And you can tell that the control right off the bat is going to be an amazing one. Just going to apply a second small scoop here, the sides, and the back. And you can see the shine on damp hair. It just kind of automatically gives a low shine, maybe like barely a medium at best. But throughout the day, it would progress more to a natural shine. I would say that this formula definitely has less shine than the previous one, and even though it's a lot creamier, I would also say that the hold and endurance actually improved to more of really a very, very true firm. I mean, the previous formula is somewhat between a medium to firm, but this one actually has a slightly better hold despite being creamier than the older formula. Now I have the product in my hair and just looking it back. You wouldn't feel too much of a crazy resistance. There is some, but it's definitely not like a waxy type of resistance, nor does it feel overly slick either. I mean, my hair does look pretty slicked back right now because that's how it normally, that's how it's trained to look. But this pomade still does an excellent job at keeping my relatively puffy sides back, but it's not an excessively slick product. I would even say that the older, waxier formula acts a little bit more like an oil base compared to this one. This creamier formula, it actually acts slicker than it, even though you might expect a slicker performance from the creamy version, but no. This actually has a bit of a sticky feel to it, but nothing too oily, definitely not too greasy, definitely less greasy than the original formula. The original formula is not overly greasy, but there is some, a bit of a slightly oily feel to it. But this one, despite being more liquid and creamy in nature, and you'd expect more slickness and less hold, but it does the complete opposite. Compared to the old formula, there is definitely a little bit more, there's a noticeable increase in hold and a little bit less of a slickness, depending on how much you use. So if you want to go for a textured look, the older formula can't really give you a textured look. Well, this newer formula actually is a little bit more versatile. So if you go for less product, you can opt for a more textured and loose look. If I can even demonstrate, I probably added 2.5 scoops that are more suitable for a slick look, but you can see even with a little bit more product that I use for a slicker look, I can still get a really good amount of texture over here. And the best part of it is that there's absolutely no clay used in this, and yet it's still a versatile product. Now I'm just going to comb it back into a pompadour because that's usually my thing, of course. But usually more versatile products that allow you to go for texture or slickness, they have at least a little bit of a clay ratio in there and more of a paste type of product. But this one is a pomade product and does not have any trace of clay in it, and yet you can still do a bit of a textured look, which is absolutely amazing. And given how light and creamy this formula is, and with the immediate hold that you feel, it also allows for a bit more volume as well compared to the older formula where it kind of weighs your hair down a little bit more. But this one you won't really find so much of that weighing down. Well, of course, again, that depends on the amount of product you use, but even with a little bit more in your hair, you would definitely feel a little bit less of a weight, less weighing down if you use the same amount of, a similar amount of product in the old one as well. You can see that I have this very oomph shape with a lot of structure. I mean, I said oomph, but you probably know what I mean. That very like well formed and structured shape of my pompadour that I get from this pomade right here. And the endurance on it, even in hotter weather and more humid climates, I noticed that it holds really well. But there is a little bit of a collapse towards the end of the day, but no product is, there are hardly any products that are labeled as firm that can really keep your hair into the exact same shape as when you started throughout the whole day. But I mean, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's more so around a firm hold, but I'd say around 6-7 hours is when you begin to notice a bit of the collapse. But for the most part, everything just stays put where it is. So that's a really good amount of hold right there. And I'll just give you a quick look of how Summit looks in my hair, well, at least this current version, of course. But as you can see, it's definitely not a wet shine at all. It's more of like that healthy type of shine to it. And speaking of healthy, this product over here, very typical of Templeton products. It has that really nourishing factor to the pomade, to your hair. So right after you wash it out of the shower, which it's really easy to do, even with just water, a lot of it comes out, but you still need one round of shampoo to get everything out completely. Even after you wash it out of the shower, you would automatically feel that softness to your hair. It just moisturizes your hair really well. But overall, getting to the conclusion of this review, I wouldn't say that the reformulation is better than the old version. You can't find the old version anywhere unless someone has it up for trade, of course. But I would say it depends on what you're looking for. If you like something that's a little oilier and a little slicker and more of an oil-based type of feel to it, the older formula and a bit more of a shine, the older waxier formula might be better for you. But if you want something that's a little more versatile but still provides a good amount of slickness but with a little bit less shine, and really like the creamy feel to a water-based pomade, then you definitely have to check out the Summit, at least the current version right now, because the only available version on the common pomade market today is the reformulated, the reworked version of Summit, and that's why I believe it's relevant to review this, of course. I mean, better late than never, even though this reformulation came out a couple of years ago. I hardly see, if any, there are no reviews, if any, so far of this reformulated version of Summit, so I really feel the need to put it out there because this is definitely a different product from the last iteration. And so with that being said, I really highly recommend this product, and I think it's absolutely amazing. Just that typical nourishing factor that you would find, good versatility, without excessive slickness, but still an amazing amount of slickness for that rockabilly look that I usually go for, but with a little bit of less shine. And finally, amazing amount of control with that very creamy feel. And with that, I'll just sign off right now. And if you enjoyed this review and learned a lot from it, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe to this channel, and click on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. And I'll see you next time on Pomades and Pompadours.